3. I'm the only one on. I have 2 more coming in, and a supervisor. I'm on my way with screen.
Copy. Thank
What's
you.
up, guys? Breaking news. There was a church shooting in Utah. I heard 5 shot. This is just happening, so I'm trying to get all the information that I can. Hang in there. Start that over. Fresh. Yeah, breaking news. This is live right now, the video that you see. Trying to find out what's going on. I read 2 dead. 2 dead. 5 shot. LDS Church at the 660 North Redwood Road. Pretty crazy. And I was thinking, like, wow, what's happening at this time right now that this is happening? This time of night.
It was a black SUV, possibly a newer model GMC Yukon.
By the way,
unable to confirm, the plate was not visible. That was the vehicle that dropped off the 2 Delta condition patients that you had.
Saying suspect still on the run, I believe, too.
Romeo 300.
Go ahead and uncode the channel.
Straight one arrived at you guys. Copy.
Suspect supposedly still on the loose.
There should be 4 units arrived or at unit.
Copy, and I have 3 patients.
Looking for 1 more unit to respond to unit.
Romeo 302, still en route.
Affirm, we have 4 either en route or currently arrived at unit. 1 more to go en route.
Romeo 303, I can head that way here in a minute.
Copy.
So what I'm reading here, a 911 caller has reported an unconfirmed incident at the 660 North Redwood Road, and police received a 911 report of shots fired. I actually can pull up some radio clips for you guys. I gotta find where my Samsung's at. There was a little bit of radio traffic too earlier when it first happened. Police have called it a mass casualty incident. Officers have shut down several roadways. Emergency responders confirmed 2 fatalities and 3 injured individuals. A helicopter is being used to assist in the search for a possible suspect. 5th victim reportedly suffered graze wound per firefighters. 5th victim was transported to a medical facility for treatment. An update from dispatch states 2 patients were taken to a hospital by a black SUV, not an ambulance. One patient was airlifted to a medical facility. Wow. Pretty sure there's got to be another. Wonder if they stopped the scanner.
Romeo 300. How many do we have down at IMC?
I have 3 total here. 1 is constant.
Copy.
Parking lot outside
There we
of
go,
the
guys.
LDS Chapel are working to help the 3 people that are in critical condition right now and the other 3 people whose conditions we are not aware of right now. But it's all hands on deck, as you can imagine, in these trauma centers as they work to stabilize these victims and save them, frankly. Violence like this is not common in Utah. We see it in other places in the country, but it's not common here. Violent crime fairly low here in Utah, but we know that something like this can happen anywhere. We just had a story on the news earlier today about security measures being increased at LDS chapels in Idaho because of some security issues going on up there. People coming into the churches and doing some inappropriate things. And now we have this here in Salt Lake City. Not saying those are connected. It doesn't appear they are. But this is a violent episode, the likes of which we have not seen here in Utah in some time. And now you can see passersby are walking down, wondering what's happening. Police have to take control of a scene like this. You have to make sure that people aren't contaminating the scene and contaminating evidence. And that is the name of the game tonight, is gathering evidence from the scene and putting these pieces together so that eventually charges can be brought against the
Affirm. You have 2 females, or 1 female, 2 males.
Glenn Mills, Salt Lake City police spokesperson, said that suspect is on the run tonight. Possibly
Suspect on the run.
We're trying to get a clearer picture of how many people may have been
1 male, 1 female, giving a courtesy transport starting
line
mileage 246.3.
And so you can imagine police are going to be looking through the vast network of traffic cameras we have here in Utah. We're looking at one of those cameras right now. All of these feeds are recorded. They're monitored 24/7. That could give police an idea of a direction of travel. Possibly they're able to track this person for a great distance. They'll be interviewing witnesses at the scene to try to understand what this person looked like or what the suspects looked like. Maybe because this is a funeral and you have a lot of people who know each other, they will know who did this. The witnesses may be able to give police a name. But all of this is super preliminary right now. The name of the game for police is securing that scene as doctors work to save the victims who were taken to the hospital. Again, 8 victims in all here, 2 confirmed dead, 3 in critical condition, and 3 we're not sure about yet because they were taken to the hospital in a private.
I just please all know the
as soon as we get our
suspect vehicle for you guys.
in front of a camera, we'll be able to kind of take you on the ground and show you around, show you what our reporters are seeing right now. But this is something that the police train for. A lot of these churches have their own security folks who kind of keep an eye out. They watch the door, they watch the parking lots. That is 2026. It is where we are right now, a training for mass shootings. What qualifies as a mass shooting, by the way? That is 4 or more people shot in a single incident. That's what qualifies as a mass shooting, and we have 8 victims. Police tell us the wounds are, in fact, gunshot wounds here. So that's what we're dealing with. You can see police right now sort of talking, and you'll have to forgive
I'm gonna bump up the volume for you
the
guys.
haphazard nature of our live picture here, because our journalists on the scene are jockeying for a good position, trying to ascertain what's going on there and bring you pictures of this as we get them. This is live TV. Anything could happen, and so bear with us if it's not as polished as you're used to. That is the nature of scenes like this. But this has been going on now for at least the past hour, as that manhunt really begins for the person who shot 8 people outside of an LDS church on Redwood Road in Salt Lake City.
Shot 8 people? Is that what he said?
Was happening inside the building.
Shot 8 people?
Some kind of a fight, an altercation is the word police use, but that usually means fight or an argument in the parking lot led to those shots being fired. And now you can see the police on the scene here. Police don't necessarily believe there's an immediate threat to the public in this area because they believe the person who did this drove off in a car. They're looking for them right now. But the Salt Lake City police spokesperson, Glenn Mills, was very clear to say that someone who is willing to do this is a threat to the community. And so he's asking for anyone who may have seen something in this area,
That's crazy.
anybody who may know something that could help police, to give them a call and give them a tip as they try to track this person down. Again, unclear what caused a person to shoot 8 people at a funeral. But that is what we're dealing with right now. And we can tell you
Very
that
personal, I guess.
Police from across the valley are here. Unified Police is here. This is several police departments that make up municipal police departments in the valley. They are here right now. That's Unified. You also have Salt Lake City Police, and you have the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office all responding here. The call was put out for ambulances across the valley to show up, and we know that the hospitals were aware of what was going on and were preparing for victims to come in, those victims being treated right now. Hoping to bring you one of our reporters as soon as we can get them up to give us some ground truth to what's going on. You know, when we send reporters to scenes like this, their first job is to talk to folks who may have seen something. They'll knock on doors. They will talk to bystanders. They'll go to businesses nearby. There's a McDonald's near this intersection. There's a gas station here. They'll go there and try to get some witness reports that we can bring to you. We also call businesses, too, from the newsroom and try to figure out what they're seeing and take their reports as well. So that's kind of a behind-the-scenes look as to the reporting process. And then we mix that in with what we're hearing from our official police sources. Glenn Mills, you heard from him a short time ago. We will hear more from the authorities this evening. There will likely be another news conference at some point, and we will bring that to you. But for us, journalistically, we want to make sure that we're bringing you accurate information. And so as soon as this happened, people were on social media, they were on Reddit. Oh, here's what I heard, here's what I heard, here's what I heard. We see those reports as well. But our job here is to be an accurate arbiter of information. And so we don't share a lot of that until we have something confirmed with our sources, which we were able to do. And that is 8 victims, 2 dead right now, 3 more victims in critical condition, and 3 other victims who were working to figure out how they're doing tonight because instead of waiting for an ambulance, they were put into a car and they were rushed to the hospital. And so it takes a while for police to figure out who those people were, figure out what hospital they went to, and then try to understand their condition. And so that's when that confirmed information is passed along to us so we can give it to you, and police use that information to begin building the legal case against the person or people who did this. And you can see that group of police officers right now, a lot of them will be working just to keep that scene secure and sanitized tonight. Others will be working to bring in evidence throughout the evening because all of that evidence is going to be collected and cataloged and tagged and examined and looked over because eventually, if there's a jury trial here, that evidence is going to be presented in court. And so investigators and legal authorities rely on a concept called chain of custody. Chain of custody, there's Mackenzie Diaz getting ready to go on with us. We'll talk to her in a minute. As soon as she's up, you guys let me know, and we'll get to her. But chain of custody is just making sure that evidence is always accounted for from the time it's collected to the time it is presented in court. Police keep it under lock. So investigators can take a look at it. Potential jurors can take a look at it in some cases as well. And that's what we're dealing with right now. You can see Redwood Road here at 700 North, fewer police cars here than there were 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago. That is because the scene is secure. That is because there is not an active, ongoing threat to the community here. So that's a good sign. You remember just 30 or 40 minutes ago, Redwood Road here was a sea of blue and red lights because police in a situation like this have to assume the worst case scenario. They have to assume that a shooter is still there, and they send in officers to look for that shooter and eliminate the threat. We understand from Salt Lake City Police that the shooter or shooters fled. We're hearing that person fled in a sedan.
Oh, I don't know why my computer does that. Whoa, are you guys still with me? Everything went black. Hold on. I think it's reloading. I'm going to have to look into that. We're just, they're talking here. Hold on, we can do this maybe.
How do you talk to them about this?
Gosh, I have no idea. It's pretty scary. This is my first time thing that ever happened that I've seen with, it's pretty scary. I'm still stunned.
I see you composed. How do you keep that composure when something like this happens?
You know what? I don't know. I'm just relieved that I come out safe. I don't want my kids to worry because I know they're watching the news and everything. So I want them to know that I'm safe and gonna be walking home and hopefully nobody's just kidding. But that's all I can tell you.
There was a young woman here who looked like she was trying to find somebody who was missing, who might have been shot.
Oh.
When I tell you.
Right now, back out live here, 660 North Redwood Road in Salt Lake City, where 8 victims total, 2 deceased from a shooting that took place in the rear of this chapel. And earlier tonight, there was a viewing taking place for a member of the community. You just heard one of the women who was inside as a part of this viewing explain who they were attending the event for tonight and also what was going to happen next for that individual private ceremony to be taking place a couple of states away in California. Again, more families still coming out of the chapel here tonight. You're seeing entire families with young children exiting the building right now. Police have this scene relatively secure on all sides. They've had a major focus with the drone in the sky looking towards the rear of the building where there's got to be an entire separate investigation, if you will, taking place right now. We are in the front of the building, standing in the middle of Redwood Road, along with maybe 75 to 100 law enforcement vehicles. It has thinned out just a little bit since I first got here more than an hour ago now. But we're seeing people exit the chapel after gunshots rang out. I actually just shared, if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about what this was like, I had a surveillance video just shared with me. I just posted it on my Facebook page, and you can hear at least 3 or 4 of the gunshots that rang out. And that was surveillance video obtained from the apartment complex next door. I did speak to one of the people that handed me that video, and we did an interview, and she told me they were inside, they could hear the gunshots, they could hear some screaming, and then they went back and corroborated that with their surveillance video, which you'll hear at least 3 or 4 gunshots. That timestamp on the video before 8 o'clock, which also lines up with the timing basically when I was a few streets away at this point. So we're still gathering information. We do have a good amount of preliminary information that we're able to share with you because of the early prelim information from Salt Lake City Police. But again, still combing through this, a massive crime scene. There is a dog that is coming out right now with some family members, and more people continuing to pile out of this building here at 660 North Redwood Road. Traffic is blocked, by the way, for those of you in this community, in this area. 700 North, you cannot get through 700 North to 500 North, and vice versa here, as the entire road is closed down. We're continuing to gather more perspectives here on scene. A lot of people still continuing to exit the chapel, and we'll be here with more updates as we're able to get them and more perspectives. Brian Schnee, KUTV2 News. We'll send things back inside to you too.
All right, Brian Schnee, thank you so much. And for those of you who are joining us right now on KMYU, we are simulcasting with KUTV. And just to bring you up to speed right now, we understand that 8 people have been shot, and this was during a funeral viewing that took place at a chapel which belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, located at 660 North Redwood Road. We're giving you a map right now to give you an idea of where this is located. Police are saying that they are looking for a gunman or multiple people involved with this particular shooting. They're saying that this shooting took place outside in the parking lot. We have been getting reports from those who are on the ground, those who may have heard some screams and seeing the police activity. They're telling us that they believe that the shooting may have taken place in the back parking lot of the chapel. We're still working more information, getting more information about that as we speak right now. We're going to turn our attention now to Brian Will, who is also on the scene, who is a part of multiple crews that we have sent out to this area to get more information for us. Brian.
Jamie, we're more towards that back parking lot that you were talking about. We got a little closer than where we were before, and you can kind of see behind me, families and people are still filtering out of this church, and you can see what that back park.
That's insane, man. That is crazy. Local Enterprise, thanks so much for the 10. Says, this is my neighborhood. 8 shot, 2 dead, 2 possibly still at large. This is most likely gang related in this neighborhood. Really? At the LDS Church? Maybe it's not so much about the church, but the people that were participating or were at that, at that funeral. That is crazy. That's a massive hit, man. 8 shots. Like, you want all these people dead for whatever reason. I guess gang related. This is some crazy ish.
Showing you kind of what this looks like from this perspective on the back side of the church with families that have walked out just now. We're hearing that more and more people are being released from the church as time goes on.
What kind of LDS members is this? I remember I went to visit one and they're all like proper and like whatever. These people are dapping each other up. Yo. What the hell?
The back side of that church. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right. Thank you very much. And one thing that seems like it could be a good thing is that it doesn't seem like anybody in the church was hurt tonight. Now, we do have the 8 victims, 2 dead, 3 critical, 3 unknown because some of them were taken in private vehicles to the hospital. But again, if you're just joining us on KMYU, this all transpired just before 8 o'clock tonight. And the calls came in of shots being fired in the area, and it appears that it occurred in the back parking lot of the church. There was a funeral going on there at the time, but it looks like everybody in the church is okay because most of them, it looks like they've been let out and are going back to their cars or trying to walk to their homes because it doesn't appear that anybody in the church was shot. But we don't know if what happened outside the church had anything to do with some people that were maybe in the funeral but were outside. We just don't know.
And that's something that police are looking into now, whether or not this was gang related. They're also following leads as far as suspect information, the vehicle that the suspect or suspects may have gotten away in. They are looking at all areas right now. They also have roads that are blocked at this point that you will not be able to have access to because of the intense police investigation and search happening right now. 500 North, 700 North, Redwood Road, extending to the Jordan River. So we have more people who are on the scene right now. We're going to turn our attention to the latest reporter arriving, and I believe it was Natalie.
No, we're going to replay the.
Okay, we're going to go to an interview that Brian Schnee had, and we're going to go ahead and go to that right now.
What did you see? What did you hear? Can you take me through what you saw on her?
You know what? I was just inside with the viewing, and I just heard noises outside, like girls were screaming and running outside in the back of the building. That's all. That's all I can hear.
So whatever took place here, are you saying it took place outside in the back? Is that what you believe?
Yeah, I think it was out. I think it was outside because we were just inside with the viewing, the funeral.
Okay. Were there a lot of people here for tonight's event?
Yes.
Okay. And who was tonight's event for?
It's for a guy named Asi Sekona. Passed away, but he's a member of our ward here, and he's just viewing here and going to be taken to California tomorrow. that's, for burial.
You heard what happened outside. Did you see anything else? What else took place here? Because there's a pretty big police response for whatever took place here tonight.
I have no idea what was going on. While we were sitting there, it was just shooting. Everybody was just saying they're shooting outside, but, gosh, I was scared. So that's all I know.
And you heard gunshots?
Yeah, nope.
Just the screaming?
Yeah, just the screaming. That was it.
Your first name, ma'am?
Liliani.
Can you spell it for me real quick?
Liliani.
Daniel, any questions?
Liliani, I saw children in there. I saw lots of different people. What did you do when you were in the building? Did they move the children? What did they do?
They just wanted the children to come inside. Yeah, and not outside. They just have everybody bring their kids inside and let them stay inside with us.
Are you relieved that none of this commotion got inside in
I'm
a way?
so relieved. I want to go home to my kids and my grandkids.
What do you tell them about what happened tonight? How do you talk to them about this?
Gosh, I have no idea. It's pretty scary. This is my first time thing that ever happened and that I've seen with, it's pretty scary. I'm still stunned.
I see you composed. How do you keep that composure when something like this happens?
You know what? I don't know. I'm just relieved that I come out safe. I don't want my kids to worry because I know they're watching the news and everything. So I want them to know that I'm safe and I'm gonna be walking home and hopefully nobody's over. No, just kidding. But that's all I can tell you.
There was a young woman here who looked like she was trying to find somebody who was missing, who might have been shot.
Oh.
When I tell you that, how does that make your heart feel?
So sad. So sad because when I heard the gunshot, my heart ached, Could have been one of my kids, But it's just, I don't know. I'm very scared that I'm going to have to walk home and leave my car here. I didn't know it was that big until I got here and see all these cars. Pretty scary.
Thank you. I'm glad you're safe.
Gosh, thank you.
Look at all those cars.
This is the interview that Brian Schnee was able to get. That was a woman who was inside the church at the time that the shooting broke out outside. She said she didn't hear the gunshots, but she heard.
That's incredible. Let me get the super chats real quick. And I did see the standoff. The standoff thing is still there.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I don't know that anything's happening. It's there.
I appreciate anything, you guys. I appreciate you guys so much.
Expect that to probably go on. Who knows how long.
Yeah, I gotta end this ASAP, man.
DR Rebel, thanks so much for the 5. Can you give an update to the Huntington house? Police have contact suspect and they're going to come out. I'm keeping an eye on it.
Bladder.
If he actually comes out, I'm going to make it a bigger screen. Betty Black, thanks so much for the 10. Local enterprise. A lot of Polynesian gangs. Many of their family members are Mormon, but many of their kids are not. The Polynesians have been beefing with the Latin gangs. Damn, man, that's some pretty trifling. I don't even know what to say. These kids, no respect, no decency, nothing. Wow. Shoot up this Mormon church, I guess in the parking lot. Shoot this place up. 8 people shot. Wow. And on the run. It really is the end of times. I guess 2026 is off to a very violent start. Action-packed, I guess. Not in a good way. That's wild, man. Not even safe at the church. Well, it looks like they know the suspect's
come
name
on,
in
bro.
California.
There's no way they're still doing this.
We're not going to hurt you. Please come outside with the garage. We're not going to go away from it. Please come outside.
I thought he was about to come out. Ain't no way. Yeah, I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more, you guys. I'm gonna have to.
I have another live feed, but the realist is tired. For those that don't know, in California, there's a barricade that's been happening for several hours. Some dude just randomly ran into a garage and just decided to hold up inside. The homeowners are outside, and he's barricaded inside. It's been going on for hours now. Crazy.
Church. Nobody inside the church was hurt. We don't know if there were people outside the church that may have been a part of it or got caught in some of this gunfire. You've been in law enforcement a long time, and I've known you for a long time. These are tough.
Mark, I lost you for a second.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've been in law enforcement a long time, and these are tough things that happen when it happens like this. I remember Trolley Square, and when I saw the big police presence out there, I was hoping that it wasn't something like that. But still, 8 victims, 2 dead, 3 critical, 3 unknown.
Right. And, you know, that's, I mean, my heart goes out to the families of those people. You know, this is a funeral, and, you know, it's supposed to be, you know, a sacred time. We're honoring somebody. Not only that, it's at a church. And we always look at those places being somewhere that is sacred to us. So I think culturally, this is going to have a great impact on us. And I think that law enforcement recognizes that, and they're going to get out there and do their job tonight.
Chris, how do officers determine the perimeter that they set up when they are investigating?
You know, initially you're going to take that scene where you've got, you know, the victims. We're going to expand that out as information comes in. We want to make sure that, again, and I say this often, we get a first time first. And so make it as big as you need to. You know, sometimes you will establish it, and then we find out that the subjects maybe ran out into the neighborhood, and that will either expand it or create additional crime scenes. But they need to take care of that tonight. That's the first time first, and we want to catch everything, you know, that's potentially of evidential value to help in this case.
Hey, Chris, I was thinking about the drone that the Salt Lake City Police has flying over the crime scene. With the new technology and the better drone technology, we see a lot more drones at crime scenes, at crashes. I guess it gives you a better look at what's going on down on the streets, right?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that when you look at a crime scene, we're looking at from, you know, maybe standing on the ground. We want to get down low. We want to get up high. You know, years ago.
We just checked the realist left.
¿Qué pasó? Que para las personas que van entrando, un sospechoso que venía huyendo de la policía se atrincheró acá en esta casa y lleva hora ahí atrincherado el vato. Y no ha salido, Están tratando de sacar al sospechoso. Acá está el SWAT, está el K9, está, ¿qué más? Estamos en Huntington Park. Déjame ver más.
Supposedly the dude was running up and down the stairs inside of the house in boxers. I don't know if that's true. That's what people are saying.
And maybe to others who are watching this evening, they would think, oh, they might be out all night with this. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Nobody will be going home until they've got the subjects that are wanted in this or maybe connected to this in custody. There were many times, 24, 36 hours before, we took a break and went home. And as you start, especially from a command perspective, you start to think about that, meaning I'm going to send people home early because they're going to come out in the morning and take the place. And so it becomes one of those situations where we want to get the people in custody as quickly as possible. They're moving, we're moving. They're probably in a little chaotic scene where they're trying to get away. We want to take advantage of that. And when you can pour the proper resources into that, Salt Lake City has that ability. They can ask help of the Unified Police and the sheriffs in West Valley, state police. They're probably drawing on all those tools. The state has the intelligence center that will be able to provide them a lot of information if they have subjects that they're looking at and associates to those subjects.
Hey, Chris, we talk about technology. Our Brian Schnee was able to listen to a Ring doorbell, the sound from it, and he heard at least 4 shots. And I'm sure police are canvassing the neighborhood. There was an apartment complex just across the street, and they're probably looking for any bit of information because they did say tonight that this person that would do something like this is a dangerous individual, and they also said, you know, we want to get him off the streets, he or she, whoever perpetrated this, get him off the streets as quickly as possible. But with Ring doorbells and everybody's got a cell phone these days.
They're going in. They have a better view.
Van a entrar, ya entraron en la casa.
Entraron, they're going in.
English, okay, they are looking at, okay, the suspect is barricade inside this house.
Any feed for this? Oh.
He was run from the LAPD.
Castillo, oh man, Castillo's
Sí, están entrando, mira.
There's a better view, hold on. Okay, here we go, baby. Is he finally coming out?
He's coming out. Ahí viene saliendo.
Guys, this has been going on for hours. And yo, the realist just left. We're good.
He's in the front door area. Nichols.
He's in the front door area.
I know the realist has got to be cursing. Chat. It's crazy, man. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Where is he? He's still inside the garage. Hi, they're bringing the gurney. Están trayendo la cama. So they're bringing the gurney right here.
Those are shots in the Utah shooting caught on camera, I guess.
So again, you hear the multiple shots, about 3 early on and then the 2 towards the tail end. Do we have that interview with the woman by chance? If so, I would like to take it because it matches up with this video. Take a listen. The video was shared to me by this woman who was inside of her apartment at the time, and she describes what she heard.
They got him over there.
There he is, guy.
What did you see? What did you hear?
Oh man, he's wild, dude. Look at this guy. Got to take a screenshot for the people that missed this.
He took off his clothes, se quitó la ropa.
Man, you guys got to lock your doors. Tell your parents lock the doors. Anybody will just run up in there. Ooh. Wow.
So there's the suspect right there. Está la persona. Estaba trincherada en la casa de otras personas. Esta persona lo venía siguiendo a la policía y se metió por el garage.
It was barricaded inside of these other people's homes.
Metió. Los residentes salieron y esta persona se quedó.
Homeowners came out and he stayed inside.
Estamos en Huntington Park. So is the suspect.
Huntington Park, Los Angeles, California. He looks like he's like upset. He's like, no, I don't want to have to come out. No, I don't have to go to jail. No, ow! I wonder how old this guy is. The new generation there. I live here now. Probably I guess mental health though. Hopefully he gets help he needs. But yeah, you gotta lock your doors, man. Lock your doors, stay strapped. It looks like LSD.
No, I don't know why he ran from the cops, but he went inside of the stranger's home with, they had the garage door open. Esa persona se metió a esa casa, no siendo de él, de esa casa. Él no vive ahí. Los residentes dejaron la puerta del garage abierta y él se metió adentro. There's a dog get him. I don't know if the dog got him, but they're strapping him down. No, it wasn't his house. He ran inside of a stranger's house, running from the police. Barricaded himself in a stranger's home. The people got out. They got scared. They got out. They called the police.
Man.
So I'm sure they're not going to be leaving the garage door open ever again. Estoy seguro que estos residentes ya no van a volver a dejar.
And that's pretty much for that, I guess. He'll be taken away. I don't know if he's on substances or drugs. But that's the wrap up with the California thing. Back to this, the Utah LSD church shooting. Suspects are on the run. I'm just going to hang out for a little bit more just to show, I guess, the outside. But they interviewed a lady and she said that she really didn't hear nothing from the inside. 8 people were shot, I guess, on the outside. At least 2 dead, 2 confirmed dead. And this was at the LDS Church. In a parking lot during a funeral service. It's crazy.
Have them for now. We'll send things back inside to you too.
All right, Brian Schnee, thank you for that report. And once again, like he is pointing out, is that they're saying that they're focusing their investigation on the back end of the chapel, the parking lot where the shooting, police believe, took place, not inside of the chapel where a funeral was going on. 8 victims at this time, 2 dead, and you have others who are either in critical or unknown condition at this time, and still working to get more information about if there are even more victims, because some of those victims, according to police, were actually taken by private vehicle to the hospital. Right now, we're going to turn our attention to Brian Will, who is also live on the scene, to get the very latest from him where he is right now. And actually, we're just now getting word that there are some technical challenges right now in getting Brian Will. So as we were sitting here talking about.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to hop off for now, guys. It's been a busier day than I expected. And maybe tomorrow will be even busier, or just as busy day, updating some of these stories. Hopefully they catch these suspects. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. It's been quite a few hours on and off throughout the day. You know, with the protest, the shooting, standoff barricade, and now this mass church shooting. Jeez. But yeah, stay safe, guys. Have a good night. Rest up. And I'm hoping that's it for tonight. Hopefully I'm not coming back tonight. We'll see. All right. Take care. Thank you. Peace.